A conversation that allegedly included testimony that was so startling that the entire league, according to reports, online rumors about an unnamed referee are circulating. Acknowledged, quote, "We were told that the players needed to be humbled. If we neglected to do so, our tasks would disappear and our careers would be completed." That single charge is the match with the biggest flame scandal in the history of the WNBA. Furthermore, in the middle of that fire, there are doubts about the league's authenticity and advocates are asking for more information. Their own commissioner, Cathy Engelbert, has completely silent. But what if I informed you that silence does not equate to admission of responsibility for this specific scandal? What if the plan is well considered? That was such a severe backlash that, are you going to destroy her life? This isn't no more about a few bad choices. This emphasizes a power vacuum at its most extreme throughout the WNBA. Additionally, this evening we're connecting the dots to demonstrate how Cathy public relations is not the only reason for Engelbert's quiet mistake. It is the thing that offers NBA Commissioner Adam Silver's authority to step in and remove her front at work. This is the story of if a leader does nothing amid a crisis, it could turn into the justification for her own termination. If you believe that in areas where there is smoke, you've had enough of the fire. Official narratives, please help me with. Click the like icon. It shows that this is the true story. Okay, so if we look any deeper, we have to acknowledge the most popular story on the internet right now. The one everyone thinks they know. Additionally, just to be clear, this is social media speculation, but it's the essential context for everything that's happening. The narrative goes like this. The NBA commissioner, Adam Silver, posing as a sheriff and cleaning up a lawless neighborhood, started a secret internal analysis of the NBA's officiating. What he supposedly found was dynamite, a list of dishonest referees getting payments that aren't recorded, covered up as direct consulting costs from Cathy Engelbert's administration. The alleged goal of organizing games behind the scenes. According to, in these extensively shared reports, a few referees were ordered to deliver new funding for the league. Get down Caitlin Clark, cow. Court punished for ingesting their let the hard fouls whistle and fly without consequences. It's a simple, explosive story. A dishonest commissioner caught red-handed, a target of celebrities. Adam Silver stepping in to help the day. But that story is almost too ideal, too easy. Furthermore, as narrative analysts, we believe that when a story is so neat, it usually means that we're not seeing the entire chessboard. This is not just an accurate account of a few alleged dishonest referees. The real story is about a commissioner who was sitting on a keg of powdered and internal problems with her decision to don't talk about this particular firestorm is the fatal mistake that allows her rivals to act, to truly understand the causes behind Cathy Engelbert's silence. Now we have to rewind the tape and look at the moment she was already fighting and failing. To do so, we have to remove the noise from the current scandal and look through the documents on the information. The cracks in the foundation was seen long ago. Please take Indiana Fever coach Stephanie White. While this season she has been openly critical of the way she officiated, in particular, the players have been taken care of. It was over. In her getting ready, in her words, protecting her team. The next game was her direct response. I thought she had been fouled. From my perspective, the latest occurrences have been absolutely ridiculous. To us, in the earlier matches, it's not a admirer on Twitter. The coach in charge is on a public stage telling everyone that the officiating in the league is subpar. And that this is causing her athletes to suffer for it. Moreover, this is not a biased issue. It's not just Caitlin
Clark.
One of your other stars is Angel. Rhea has been just as vocal. Rhea was punished for expressing their views, asserting that the officiating has to be fixed. Additionally, to be truthful, I am tired of this as shit.
Say.
Do you see the pattern here? Before any of this illogical hypothesis about hidden postings and payments were ever due, you had crucial league executives, coaches, and famous people, players, shouting out loud that the system was malfunctioning. Essentially, they were telling everybody who would listen that the refereeing was inconsistent and undermining the integrity of the game.
And
the commissioner's office was either incapable or unwilling to remedy it. The fire was already smoldering. The latest, the scandal merely fueled the flames. Consequently, this brings us to our primary question. If there are major issues in your league right now, real, confirmed fire officiating problems, why would you make the effort? Remaining silent in the face of a flood of unverified rumors suddenly engulfs you? This is where we must go into the combat zone and look over the plan. This leads us to the first noteworthy theory about Angelbert's silent, let's call it the don't feed, strategies employed by trolls. From a conventional old, from the standpoint of corporate PR for schools, this, in a way, it makes sense. Think about it, as we have been digging the most combustible aspects of the narrative, the idea that Silver fired the boss, Angelbert, existence of a physical list of paid referees, they're not from the big news outlets. They are originating from, and mostly on social media, YouTube media and channels. The traditional crisis management manual, assertions to which you never, ever respond. Online rumors that aren't true. The second is, commissioner of a major sports league says during a press conference, no, however, I shouldn't possess a private list of dishonest officials. You just spread that rumor. A real news headline. Oxygenated. You boost the narrative from the outskirts into the ordinary, yet this is the important, erroneous computation. The playbook is severely outdated, having been written for a world that has vanished. In the modern information battle, silence is not regarded as expert self-control, which most people consider to be evidence of guilt. When you refuse to, there is a vacuum created when you speak. Of information will always be accessible if you haven't given your side of the story. Narrative, your critics and rivals will be happy to fill it for you. In addition, that is exactly what is happening right now. Angelberg made the decision to adhere to the original rules and, consequently, she left the entire fight for narratives in full swing. But what if her quiet isn't a flaw? Strategy? Is she paralyzed? This brings us to our second, and at the same time, a lot. The no-win scenario is the gloomy hypothesis. Circumstance. Angelbert doesn't keep silent by choice. She stays silent because she's limited. Let's examine this trap. In the event that she comes out, and at a press conference he says these outrageous rumors, she immediately offers press a chance to ask questions regarding the problems that are quite real. She would be held accountable for the sanctions levied, public grievances about coaches, from sportsmen like Angel Rhee, and the terrible officiating that Stephanie displayed. White shouted, what if it were worse? Uncomfortable inside. Talks she is unwilling to participate in. Light, now let's go inside. Intense speculation even while there are internet gossip regarding internal notes, expressing concerns that the speed of Caitlin Clark was becoming, quotation that causes issues for the league.
Tail.
If that's the case, a press conferences would be a minefield. Now, look at the other side of the trap. Spaying in silence. As we've seen in the existing climate, which is thought to be an admission of guilt, it creates a void. She lets the story unfold from her command. To make matters worse, reports are making a comeback on social media. The media environment where business sponsors are getting nervous and reconsidering. She is silent about their partnerships with the WNBA without having to worry about starting a bigger fire. Yet quiet is frightening the money. It's a optimal tactical dilemma. Therefore, what do? Which do you believe to be more true in this case? Is this an intentional effort to keep the strategies that trolls employ are simply horribly backfiring, or is she in a difficult situation? Are there no more beneficial movements on the board? Which idea are you more inclined toward? In the following note section, whether